Hello and welcome to this little tutorial on Ultraschall 5. My name is Joram. Today I want to show you how you can set up your recording from start to finish so you can get going with your very first podcast recording. In the previous video I have shown you how to set up and install Ultraschall. It takes a couple of steps and now you're here with your first project. The very first thing we want to do after we open Ultraschall is to save the project. And we're going to save it by hitting Command S or Control S depending on your system. And in this case, I just want to go to my desktop and then I will call this recording Test 1. And the first important checkbox of the workflow is in this dialog box. It's below at the bottom here. It's this checkbox for Create Subdirectory for Project. When you create a project, it creates a project file and then it will create backup files, and then it will also put the recordings, the raw recordings in this folder. So if you, the best idea is to create a subdirectory at the beginning, because then everything is neatly contained in one folder that you can then move around or delete or whatever. So we're just going to hit save. Next thing we want to check is the audio interface settings. On Mac, I'm using the Command comma shortcut. On Windows, it's a different shortcut, and I think you find it under the Edit menu, but I can't check right now. It's under the Reaper menu in macOS, but on Windows, it's elsewhere. So we're going to open the preferences, and here we want to go to the tab Audio and then Device. Here we want to select the correct audio device. In my case, I'm using the Scarlett Solo USB audio interface. I will double check that the sample rate is at 48,000 or 48 kilohertz, and that's it already. I can simply hit OK, and now we can add our first track. And to do that, we simply double click on the left section here, and we have a track. I can give it a name, and then I will arm it here with the red button. And you can see already now I get signal here, I get a level from my microphone, and then now the last thing left to do is hit the record button. And with that I can record my very first episode. I can simply do my whole show like this, record my audio, and then when I'm done I hit on the stop button. And that's it. With the Alt- key, I can then just stretch it out, see the entire project in one go. And here I have my audio file. And so now before I start editing it, I have to do one simple step. That's hit the button Prepare All Tracks for Editing. You find that in the podcast menu. And it does a bunch of things in the background. The details are not important, but it's important to change from the recording stage to the editing stage to make sure everything works smoothly. If you don't do that, most functions kind of work, but you might run into some problems that are weird and buggy. So the best thing is to simply press this button once you're done. It also tells you what it did. You can read through that and figure out what's going on there. But for us, it's not that important. Just click OK. And now you see my track is not armed anymore. I can't record anymore. Now I can focus on editing. How the editing is done specifically will be shown in the next video. For now, I just want to show you how to export now the audio file that you have. For that, you simply click in the bottom left here on the render option. You get the standard Reaper render dialog, and you just go from top to bottom to adjust your settings. The important ones are the directory. Here I'm going to select the path where my project is. Here it automatically puts in the file name or as the file name my project name, but you can of course pick your own name at this point. The sample rate is at 44.1 kilohertz or 44,100 hertz. The channels, I always use mono, because in most audio recordings for podcasts you don't need actually a full stereo field, but if you do music or sounds, anything more complicated, maybe you want to pick a stereo recording here. And then I use an MP3 format, and I always reduce the bit rate to at least 112 kilobytes per second, maybe even 96, just to have a smaller file size that produces less load on your server when it's sent out to all of the clients downloading it, and also for all the individual clients that don't want to download a massive file for the podcast. That doesn't actually add anything quality-wise, because audio is that much less bitrate necessary than in music. With that, we can simply hit the render button. It is quite fast because it's a small project. And that's it. You have your first MP3 recorded with Ultraschall. And from here, of course, there's a couple more steps that we will go through in the next videos. If you want to do a nice edit, add chapter marks, metadata, and all kinds of fancy things you want to do for your podcast. But this is something for the upcoming videos. Thank you for watching, and goodbye.